What's up, everybody? It's your favorite reviewer who's never going to get caught up's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the X-Transbots Scavenger, or as they call him, Gravedigger, which I kind of like as a name. Anyway, just got this in from Agabus, part of my own personal collection. That's 2 figures in a row from my personal collection that we get to look at, which is always a treat for me, and hopefully this review will be a treat for you, but in order to get there, we need to first talk about accessories. So he comes with an extra head, and I quite like it. I'm seriously considering swapping it out. Just a little bit more menacing, a little bit more details kind of going on, angrier. It looks like it's to be taken a little bit more serious. The details are the same as the standard one that came in the box, so we'll talk about that when we get to the figure. And then we have his pistol. It's painted with this metallic onyx black color that looks good. This has some sculpted detail in it that brings it to life a bit. It's nice enough. There's a peg on the handle that corresponds with a slot in the palm, and then you plug it in, wrap the fingers around it, and he holds it just fine. And then you get some parts forming pieces. We'll talk a bit about this when we get to combine mode, but I just want to show you the gun. I hate it. It's cartoon accurate, and that's why I hate it. It looks too goofy to me, but it's accurate, so I'm sure that people will quite enjoy that. And there's a peg in the handle that corresponds once again to a slot in the palm, except I have it upside down. And let's see if I can't not look like a total doof in showing you that he can hold it. So actually he doesn't hold it great. So I can get him to hold it upside down this way. Look, I've already beat this up a good bit. This way, you know, if I get the thumb as close as I can to the back here, I mean, yeah, this thumb joint doesn't allow the space. It's like the handle is too wide. Maybe he's meant to hold it with the other hand, but that's alarming. And maybe I don't have it quite right, but I'm telling you, I mean, I've put a lot of guns in a lot of figures' hands over the years, and I can get it to work just fine the opposite way. You know, which lends me to believe that it's a thumb issue, which is not good, buddy. Not a strong start to this review. Look at that. Look at where the thumb is, right? Like it doesn't allot for it. Oversight. He comes with a extra backing head, I think for Scavenger. I'm sorry, for Scrapper. I'm not exactly sure why. You guys probably know more than I do about it, but it's there if you want it. And he comes with a trumpet with the chrome gold detailings, identical to the other ones that we've looked at. And just like the other ones, there is a tab on it that will correspond with the slot on the palm of his hand so that he can hold it. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the figure, and we'll get in tight on the head sculpt for Dennis, and I think it's great. And the silver is a very vibrant metallic silver. The black is like a metallic onyx over top that looks fantastic. We have the red chrome for the eyes. Head is on a hinge swivel. The head goes all the way up, in part due to transformation. The head looks a great bit down. There's a flap at the neck that assists in articulation, and then of course you get the swivel. Then we get to the body, which unfortunately I'm not crazy about. It doesn't have the pizzazz that the other two have had for my particular taste. Is just very plain. The upper body is very plain and simple because they're following the Toon approach. I get it. It's just I feel like just a few, not a ton, just a few sculpted lines here and there for a little bit of tech details would have not hurt this guy, and in fact actually helped it. So let's move on to articulation for it though. We have the shoulder that gets you past 90 degrees on a die-cast universal joint, 360 around, no billified. Oh no, wait, there is a billified joint that works. I missed that on my first impressions. So that's nice. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow that gets you the full run, wrist swivel, thumb is on a hinge that comes out to a secondary and tertiary hinge, and then the fingers, the index finger is individually articulated. They have a base pin knuckle that goes through all of them, and then the index finger has a second knuckle, and then the other 3 are on the same type of engineering hardware. All right, and then we have the same for the other arm. We have a waist swivel. I want to make sure we don't have an ab crunch. No ab crunch. Real quick, there is an ab crunch as well. It just it gets jammed up. You can see I got green plastic here that is chipped off in order to kind of release it, but it is there. So that's nice. That's quite nice. And then the chrome is nice. It's a nice thought. It helps bring a little bit of life to this guy, which I do think he kind of needs. The purple, metallic purple, looks fantastic. Waist skirts get up and out of the way to expose universal joints, which will get you out for the full Van Damme. No, I'm sorry, that is not the full Van Damme, but probably more than you would ever need. And ratcheted forward and back to there. Once again, not the full Monty, but more than you would ever need. There's a thigh swivel. The knees I want to talk about, they're great, but in box they come with this one piece here, flipped up and over. You're going to need to flip that down. So I've done it on one, and I'm going to show you on the other. Voila. And then you can have a double jointed knee with the tread sculpting that goes through. Ratcheted, feels very nice, and brings us down. Once again, no, not a ton of sculpted details here, but there's enough even up in here that kind of gets you a little bit of interesting perspective. Ankles, we have an ankle tilt up, an ankle tilt down, and a rocker. This joint here, this armature, doesn't stay pegged in super well. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it is worth noting. And then we have the backpack, obviously always an issue, but not as bad as some other ones I've seen, I'd say. And you can kind of fold this up any which way you so desire, you know, that makes sense to you. I would prefer if this was removable, but I understand that that is not in vogue right now with Scavengers, so be that as it may. And that's this guy in a nutshell. Let's do some size comparisons. Size comparison wise, there he is next to a masterpiece car, so a good bit taller. And I happen to have the MMC Vortex still kind of out and about, so I can throw him in there too. There he is with the MMC Vortex, so like a head taller than that, which puts him in line with a lot of the other sized combiner limbs. But let me show you how it's shaping up on my shelf. And there they are on my shelf, and obviously with the 3 Toy World units. But these 3 are kind of together now, and I think they look great together. Like, outstanding. Once again, I think that this kind of helps demonstrate my point a little bit with just the pizzazz. Like, there's a little bit more going on with Scavenger. The bump outs and different layers and stuff to the dump truck coming through in the robot mode and long haul give it a little bit more flair as well. It's just really the Scavenger that looks quite plain here, so to speak. But yeah, I think it's shaping up quite nicely. Let's get him transformed. Real quick, the wrist has an outward hinge as well, same as Magic Square Vortex. I would like to see, if this is going to be standardized, I would like to see these companies use the hinge in. It's more useful for articulation. So untab the back of this truck here from the bottom and the top. Get as much advantage as you can to get these pieces out. You can swing down the hips. Bring those out to the side. And then this piece here swings out. And wait, let me see, does this also, why do I feel like this is supposed to extend as well? But it's just really tight. So I figured it out. Oh boy. So this thing doesn't come with instructions, let me say that too. So I'm kind of winging it a little bit, but I looked at the video is very misleading. So this piece here that came out of the backpack, right? I'll try to put it back the way it was. It's like that. There's 2 tabs here that tab into it. This piece comes out, right? And these pieces open up. And then this piece is supposed to unfold one more so that it can straighten completely out, right? But if you look here, and I'm going to do the best I can here. If you look here, this little bump out is too big to clear this. This pin is toleranced fine because you can wiggle this piece back and forth. So the issue is that this plane cannot clear that bump. And that's because it is on a slider about the size of a millimeter that you can't see because this section is covering it right where that pin is. So I'm gonna try to show you. I think I already got it. So there, I slid it up. Like I said, it's about the size of a millimeter, and then you can open this all the way up and extend this down. I almost got a Dremel and just figured I had a factory error. It's not the case. So anyway, just be careful. This piece here also spins. I think I have it like this in robot mode. That's how it came packaged. They're saying that it goes like this in vehicle mode. Or no, they're saying that it goes like this in vehicle mode and the other way in robot mode, but I had it like that the other way around, so who knows. We'll leave the bump outs for vehicle mode. It'll give it some texture, whether it be right or wrong. Okay, then open up this flap. I think we showed that already. You can open up this door too, doesn't matter. Come around here to the front, and we're going to untab these sections here from the torso, and we're going to open up this and unfurl it all. You can rotate the waist sideways in order to achieve this goal easier. And once you have that, you're going to rotate this whole armature around. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So bring that out from the middle, unfurl all of this, and then spin the entire armature 180. And then you're going to want to spin this 180 also. The head collapses on that hinge. Rotate to the side and flip that inside the cavity. Then there is a port here on the side of the neck, basically on each side, that these two sections will plug into. All right, then we got to get these arms sorted. So spin them around to this side. When they come underneath, you want the elbows facing in, I believe. And then once they're here, you can collapse the hands into the forearm, which is not the most elegant either, I might add. But so bring them down, and then just know that when they come underneath, you want the elbow to go into that area. And then this section is going to come down. It has to clear these two bumps. Oh, actually, we can spin the waist back too. And that's pulling plastic against plastic. Bring them down. And then bring these two doors here back and out of the way. And then the arms will come down and underneath. Tab in underneath. And then these pieces will come back around and grip them. And then these pieces, this piece will come down on a double hinge and grab a hold of the hand part, which is actually pretty clever. A lot of this is pretty clever. It's just an instructional issue, really. And now we just have to sink this part into the front. This door closes around and grabs a hold of the side of the body. And this is another section. So once again, in the video instructions, they show that this piece is spun in for robot mode. Obviously, I had it out. Doesn't make really a lick of difference, but make sure that it's out for vehicle mode. You got 2 tabs here, 2 ports there, 2 tabs here, 2 ports there, and this will come down. And sink in. And then here in the front, you want to bring this piece down and make sure that all of that is sitting inside. There's a couple moving pieces here, so just make sure that you have, I believe, this piece down and then this piece at a 90-degree angle out. and we'll move on to the legs. Okay, so split the legs out and make sure that you close up the knee pads here. And then all of this comes down, and like obviously the feet sit up in there. So they come out on these armatures, they flip up and then rotate the foot up. And then there's a tab on the inside of the tracks that will lock onto the foot. So same on this side, flips over, flips up, tab on the inside of the foot, and then these lock together. Hip skirts up. And these two plates up. And obviously that could be a little tighter together. And then rotate all of this up and sink that purple piece both into the digging thing as well as into the side of the shoulders here. And I believe that is it. So I will clean it up and we'll take a look at it. And look, I quite like it, but let me show you what it looks like next to Tiger Tracks. Just be cautious with that sliding piece, man, and then everything else will go in line. They really should have done something to better illustrate that, because it's not like visible almost, but it cleans up nicely. I would have liked a little bit more real world details and stuff, but I mean, I know what time it is out there. I get it. It doesn't move, so that's a little bit of a shortcoming. I like the purple translucent windows. I do like the little vents and stuff. We get a little bit of sculpted detail. Heck, I'll take it where I can get it. The digging piece obviously comes all the way down. It will lock into place there too. So it'll come all the way down, scoop up some stuff, drop it off somewhere else. You just gotta, if you're gonna drop it off somewhere, you just gotta doot, 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 and then turn and then drop it off, because you can't turn this bit. But other than that, pretty good. Yeah, just a couple little like bumpy roads for a first time. Like this is actually really quite clever. It just would have benefited from some instructions or you know, some sort of proper instruction on how to do it. But yeah, I don't have any real issue with this. Wish it had some more real world details. Wish the instructions were better. And that's about it. It does have wheels on the bottom, so it will roll. No working treads, but I think that's okay ultimately. Let's go. All right, now you have to get this piece. So just get that section out. This becomes the shoulder, right? And then you just have to connect it to the arm. And I guess this might even want to come all the way out. I'm not entirely. I guess it would be best there, right? And then this section will slide on and then peg in. And now you have this arm section ready to go. And then as far as this guy goes, it's not too involved. You just have to get this purple piece out. Just so that you can clear this piece. And then this, you're using this slot now as opposed to this slot to tab back in to those purple pieces and tab those back in there. And then you take this, you'll see there's a port here, there's your peg, that will come back, collapse, and then you can bring this down or wherever you want this, and then just kind of loosen up these legs here so that you have space to insert the arm. So then you have this T, this like cross section here, bring that up and then bring this across and then slide that in. And then tab all this back into the side of the arm and you're good to go. Effortless and look, I mean, works really well. I'll clean it up. We'll take a look at it. And there it is. Works well. Ratcheted bicep, double jointed elbow, wrist swivel, hinge in, out on the hand. Fingers are all individually articulated every which way possible. Yeah. Feels solid as a rock. Like not coming apart one iota. Really, it's really well done. It's really well executed. So, that's good news, ultimately. Let me see, let me try to get like a... You know, gonna fit right in line. It's well done. Nifty, nifty, look who's 50. Final thoughts wise, we'll start with the negative. One of the glaring negatives to me, ironically, is the gun and the thumb of the hand working properly. That's a bummer, a little bit of an oversight there. And at the very least, it's scratched my stuff up a little bit just in the process of trying to work it out. My other main issue here is just that he doesn't have the same life and pizzazz to him that the other two do, where they walk, in my opinion, a better line between the cartoon and something that looks like it should be taken seriously. It's not terrible in that regard. It's just not quite in the pocket the same way the other two are. That's purely a subjective thing. That's clearly just my take. I'm sure a lot of people will revel in that, but it's certainly not my preference in the way to kind of approach the design. You know, like, let me tell you something. I was really worried about that one piece until I figured out the sliding element, and I'm glad that I did, because I was ready to rip this thing to Kingdom Come, and it's just not well illustrated in any of the available material on how to like properly handle it. But rest assured, once you figure out that little slider, you'll be fine. I would like more kind of real world details in the vehicle mode, but I also get why it's not there. I do think it's a twofer, where if they did that, it would have came through in robot mode and probably would have fixed almost every issue that I have with this thing. But alas, I do understand the age that I'm in. Also, before we get to the positives, for the negatives, I do want to mention that those little armatures that connect the feet to the inside of the leg, I wish that they plugged in a little bit more securely. Now, on to the positives. Articulation is great. Great range in the neck, so to speak. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, billified joints. Not the most articulated hands that we've ever seen, but enough to get you through. Fully articulated ankles. Great range on the hips. Double joint, like, it's just, they did a really good job here. And for a character that is so bloody simple, there is enough articulation here and sculpting in the kind of face, the tread lines, etc., that you can, I feel like, get him through. I'll have a picture here at the end of him kind of standing in a more stoic pose, and I think it really works. The transformation, instructions aside, or lack thereof, depending on how you want to view that, is fantastic. Effortless, once again, once you get past that one little bit. Clever, big bang for your buck, works across the board. I guess if I were to nitpick another negative, it would be like to have the swivel so that the digging arm could turn, but whatever. Yeah, this is, it's really well done, man. And the arm mode is solid as a rock, you know, so I would say that this set is well on its way to being something noteworthy, which XTB could use, I think. So cheers, strong recommend from me. Be back soon. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.